Ladies, gentlemen, welcome back to another capsule series selection. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite, always I got a favorite in this actual perfume lifestyle that we're living. But this is one of my favorite parts of wearing fragrances. This is when I hear those three magic words. And those three magic words are about compliments. And that is, when I hear the words, who is that? That is often one of the most gracious ways of complimenting people, when they really speak to you and come to you and ask you what it is you're wearing or what it is you are like, and they have the flirtatious mindset because of a scent you've worn, and your attraction is just that. It brings about a certain appeal because of not only your look, the way you carry yourself, but your attractive scent. That is one of the best things about it. So when someone comes around, they like, damn, who is that? I love those particular sentences coming around me. So today, we're going to dive into three of my, this is going to be a three-part list because I got about 18 fragrances that have given me that certain appeal over time, especially this year in 2024. We're wearing about 100 fragrances this year so far. So if this sounds like the type of content you think you'll enjoy, pull up a seat, pour a glass, and of course, let's enhance. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dry Down, the lifestyle channel where we as enthusiasts aspire to enhance and elevate our olfactive sensory experiences through the understanding of the different aromas, facets, and nuance of scent, cigars, and wines. I'm your host, Chris. Welcome to today's experience. First off, I want to tap in for you guys. I had someone ask me, so I'm going to start telling you guys what particular fragrance I'm wearing for the day, and if I'm wearing a pair of frames, I'm going to talk about the frames I'm wearing. So today, I am wearing the Jacques Mage Kaine in Agar. And this is number 269 out of 400 in this particular colorway. You guys can see that beautiful agar acetate that they've used. These have a orange lens, and they are particularly like an orange shade, complementing my shirt, of course. Great pair of lenses and great pair of frames. This has the actual gold accents on the inside that are clear laminate. You can't see it from the outside, but from the inside you can see the gold inlays on the temple arms. So that's what I'm wearing today as a lens. And I'm going to be sipping on a little bit of Eagle Rare Tennessee Straight. For you guys who love to drink a little whiskey, some wines, of course, that's what the channel's about. So this is what I have as a drink today. And we're going to dive right into this list. Just phenomenal. I love Eagle Rare. So what we're going to start out with first is a fragrance that came on my radar from Mr. Perfume out there in San Francisco. He put us up on this one, and this one is Thomas de Monaco's Raw Gold. Now, this is a scent here. I mean, if you are a fan of Dior Homme Intense or Dior Homme Parfum, and you've never smelled this one, you are missing out on something. This is not a scent that is a copycat of that, but that true essence of what that fragrance caused and puts in line for you as far as a compliment magnet, a very sensual and sexual fragrance that really brings a divine attention to you. Raw Gold is one that has given me such a masculine, attention-grabbing fragrance. I mean, the power behind this one as a robust fragrance, but the scent is, my goodness, man. It's one that I did not particularly enjoy when I first got it. And not because it did not smell great. It was because someone, Mr. Perfume, said this was his favorite scent that he had smelled in quite some years. And a lot of times when we hear that, we are expecting something that is so profound that we had never smelled before, and it does not become that. But what I did do is I kept the scent, kept the fragrance. This is number 87 out of 1400. And so when I kept the scent and it macerated in my humidor, and I began to wear it this year after the 2 years I had owned it, I'm telling you, this is one of the most magnetic fragrances that I have in my collection. It's a very robust liqueur, coffee, and black pepper opening with a nice iris and leather and suede mid, and then the base goes off at about a 2 to 3 hour mark filled with honey, a sensual tobacco, a smooth leather patchouli, a little bit of an animalic civet, and saffron and oak wood. So just listening to those notes, you know that this has to be one of the most sexy fragrances out on the market. I do know that they have stopped producing this 14 numbered batch, and they have produced a secondary batch. I'm not sure if it smells the same. So if you can find one in this bottle with the number, I think that you will have found a gem. I do remember that the patchouli in this was aged actually 30 years before they turned it into an oil. So that it's just one of the smoothest fragrances that I've come across as well. So Thomas de Monaco's Raw Gold, sensual, sexual, attention grabber that I got plenty of compliments this winter going into spring. And I'm elated by the way it smells now. Raw Gold from Thomas de Monaco. Next up, guys, what I got for you here is a fragrance by the House of Lubin. Lubin produces some of the best French perfumery in my honest opinion. Everything from Akkad, Galad, Idol. These are masculine fragrances in a masculine line. They have one of the most ornate bottles, but the fragrances inside of these, the perfumes, have given me such elation when wearing them. And Akkad is a fragrance that is phenomenal and garners me quite a bit of attention. It is one that's given me I was about to cuss. So many compliments that I cannot even count, especially in this year 2024, wearing it in this ending of winter going into spring. It's a very uplifting incense fragrance that has a lot of aromatic touches to it, and that's one thing that I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of aromatic, spicy fragrances with a little bit of sweetness. It has a great amber accord, but the sage in this one, if you're familiar with sage and how it comes off on the skin, one of the new favorite and darlings of this actual sage and amber accords is Town and Country by the House of Clive Christian. This one smells of that with a little bit of amber touch to it. So think of that as one of the most head-turning fragrances in my honest opinion. It smells almost like a 90% to 95% accorded fragrance of the fragrance Mitza, which is a Dior exclusive that has been discontinued for quite some time, and you have to pay a pretty penny to get that particular scent. So if you are one who wants this incensey albinum, olivinum fragrance that is phenomenal with amber, mandarin, a little bit of suede leather with sisters labdanum, vanilla, patchouli, cinnamon, just clary sage, everything about this is particularly beautiful, and it garnered me, like I said, a whole lot of attention and compliments this particular year. Very good scent. So guys, next up on my list, man, this is a fragrance that is Baccarat Rouge 540. Now, you know, the community has its opinion. The opinion, I'm not here to sway anybody's opinion, but I am here to say this. If you're looking for compliments, you want a woman next to you to smell you, you want a woman next to you to say something delightful to you, to attract the opposite sex, Baccarat Rouge 540. This has not been a fragrance that has failed me in its compliment factor, its wearability, its usefulness when I want to wear it in certain scenarios. It is not the loudest of fragrances. I will admit that when it comes to this particular scent, it is a very expensive fragrance for what it does, but what it does in attracting the opposite sex is one thing that puts a smile on my face, because this is one of those Baccarat Rouge 540, man. I've gotten some compliments on this particular scent that were very, very overtly flirtatious, overtly sensual and sexual, and some of that, you know, they can come unwelcome sometimes when those fragrance hits a person's nose and they feel obliged to speak in a way, in a manner that which they do sometimes. But for me, Baccarat Rouge 540 by the House of Maison Francis Kurkdijan is one of the most well complimented fragrances. When you put enough on, I say I actually apply about 8 to 10 sprays of mine. I have the EDP form. I do not own the extrait form. And when I put on this EDP form and I wear it, this is my second bottle, I get the compliments and the attention that I want garnered to me. This is a scent that just gets in people's nostrils, especially within 2 to 3 feet of you, and they really become enthralled with you and become someone who wants to be in your surroundings. Baccarat Rouge 540 is filled with ambergris, cedarwood, saffron, and a lot of hedoin, which is that molecular molecule that is supposed to mimic a pheromone but smells like a citrusy light jasmine. And it does the trick. I've not had a compliment or not had a day where at least someone in my household was like, I love that scent. So Baccarat Rouge 540, great scent. I love wearing it out in public. I love wearing it in surrounding where I am amongst a lot of people, and it does the trick. It puts a smile on my face as well. So Baccarat Rouge 540, one of the top, I'm gonna say about 16 fragrances I'm gonna show you guys in these 3 videos that really popped this year for me. Baccarat Rouge 540. Get you a dupe if you have to. Just get the scent profile. Next up on this list, fellas, I have a scent that has been in my collection maybe about 5 months now. 5 months, maybe less. This is Contralto by the House of Sospiro. Sospiro has produced just a band of great fragrances. You got Vibrato, you have Basso, you have Dolce Melodia that I all have samples of that I'm in love with and intend to purchase. Everything except for Vibrato. I think Tigar is a better Vibrato for me. But Contralto, this is a head turner that has really gotten a lot of attention over the last 4.5 weeks for me. This is a scent that mimics the effort put out by Rado for the scent Baldur Freak, and also it has a very tight essence to Hanuman by Bodicea Victorious. So if you picture that, this is a sweet, white floral, warm vanilla vetiver fragrance, more or less in the vetiver compound being that lightness of the gray vetiver style, where it comes off slightly watery, slightly vegetal, but nice woody component. This is more woody than the rest of the components I talked about. It has that light effervescence feel to you. It actually lifts your mood, or at least it lifts my mood, and it becomes one that I'm very in character with when wearing. It's a floral amber classic style of fragrance that has a lot of orange blossom, chestnut, vanilla, and guaiac wood, which is one of my favorite wood components of all time in fragrances. It then has a juniper pepperberry, which comes off slightly effervescent, as stated, with a lot of balsam and cashmerean. It also has a nice clove accord that comes in at about the 30-minute mark that really surprises you and makes the mid to base come in a little bit more woody than the opening of the nice white orange blossom. So this one becomes a head-turning fragrance, and it's got me a lot of compliments when wearing quite a few over the last few weeks. I've worn this about 6 times, and I think the only time I didn't get a compliment is when I wore it and stayed in the house. And that's not pushing the fragrance on you to tell you that you will. As I always say, test it to make sure before you buy a bottle. But this thing, for me, in the crowds that I am around, the people I am around, the vestibules that I'm around, this one garnered me compliments almost every time I wore it. And that's one thing I could say about Contralto. Even if it wasn't something seeking flirtatious in all terms, it was someone asking me what it was I was wearing. And that's the one thing about this as well. This is a beast mode freshie. I think all of Sospiro fragrances right now are coming out beast mode from Christian Provenzano, who we know makes the Bodicea Victoria's most powerful fragrances. So once again, Contralto by Sospiro. Next up, guys, we're going to talk about everybody's baby. This one here is Naxos. Now, I brought out the bottle, and I'm very careful with this bottle, so I'm going to hold it and grasp it tightly. I usually wear mine out of a decant that I have had for years, where one of my purchases I broke and just put it inside of another bottle, but that's neither here nor there. What we're talking about is the scent inside. Naxos is one of the preeminent fragrances in the masculine category, and it's that for a reason. It is a phenomenal smelling fragrance. And to the opposite sex, this is catnip. I actually just watched the video on YouTube. I think the video name I mentioned it is Shy Vision, where she had a few ladies, I think it was up to 6 ladies, and she put the fragrances in front of them to rate what fragrances were coming up top notch as far as a masculine scent that they would just heartthrob over. And Naxos became one of those particular scents, and I was surprised as I was putting together this list that particular scent would come up as it did. Now, I'm not surprised because of the way it smells. I'm just surprised that they were actually that attracted to it to almost call it a panty dropper themselves. So this is a scent that I know we all know about. This is tobacco, musk, cinnamon, a lot of lavender, and tonka bean sweetness from this particular scent, and it is a phenomenal fragrance. And this year, in wearing it, just as many other years, I've gotten plenty. I got plenty of compliments. I want to kind of be measured into saying the many, because many to many people can be 2 or 3, and many to me is like 6 or 7. So it's kind of like I got a lot of compliments with Xerjoff Naxos this year, and I am happy to say that this can still be a perennial favorite for many of us, because this is not an overdone scent by any stretch of the imagination. We as the community may be a little bit tired of hearing about it because of what it is, but Naxos, nose killer panty dropper. Ladies and gentlemen, you gotta forgive some of the noise behind me. I live in a real relaxed community, and I got one of the guys around here flying his plane overhead. It is what it is. So, the last on this particular list, this is Dolce & Gabbana the One. And little be known, this is one of the scents that started me in my fragrance journey years ago, as far as pushing me further and further into the fragrance com and learning about scents. The One Parfum, or Le Parfum, is one of the best smelling designer fragrances on the market. And for me, wearing this fragrance this year, I decided, I bought the Le Parfum a few years back, and I wanted to run through the actual EDP or EDT before I really cracked into this one and started to wear it. And the maceration on this particular scent over the years I've had, I think I've had about 8 years now, maybe 9 or 10. And the actual maceration of this woody ambery scent that has a fresh touch to it is phenomenal. This scent here garnered me so much attention this year that I'm actually happy to say that if you are a person looking for a budget-friendly ambery tobacco with a little freshness to it, that you should seek no further than Dolce & Gabbana the One. Because for me, even throughout my niche collection, this is one fragrance that over its maceration process, I must reiterate, has become one of the most well-developed scents in my collection. And I don't say that lightly. I mean, I have some fragrances that have some great development over time, great maceration over time in my collection, but when I'm wearing it over the skin, this one here, the way that it comes off as a scent profile is a phenomenal scent, and I got some of the best wearing experiences from this particular scent this year when it comes to the actual implementation and getting compliments from others. I wore this to the cigar bar quite a few times this year because I thought it was grabbing one of the better inexpensive fragrances in my collection that had a tobacco essence, which I love to wear to the cigar bar. It's a nice tobacco essence. It really elevates the room around you or the surroundings with that tobacco scent, and it draws people in because they're used to having the tobacco humidor smell of a certain way. So when you wear these tobacco scents to a humidor or a cigar lounge, it actually comes off a little bit better. So this is one I was reaching for a couple times during the summer or the spring and winter of 2024, and I got a hell of a lot of compliments on this particular scent. I was damn surprised because I was always under the impression that it didn't even come off as a scent that had any projection or sealage, and that was one of the knocks on it when it first came out. But little do I know that this particular scent has some of the best sillage. May not have the best projection, but some of the best sillage when it comes to walking through a crowd, getting to your seat, and getting involved in conversations around you. So I got some of the best compliments this particular winter wearing Dolce & Gabbana the One. I knew I had to bring that to your attention in the first video to let you know if you guys are still on, if it's on your radar and it's something you want to pick up, buy it, let it macerate, and you're going to have one phenomenal fragrance for yourself. Once again, Dolce & Gabbana the One, the Parfum version. Phenomenal scent, man. Just beautiful. Just the basil accord, the cardamom, tobacco, amber, the citrus accord. Just a phenomenal scent, man. Get your nose on this one if you have not. All you young fellas out there too, you watching me on this channel, you want to pick up some of these fragrances, this is one I'm recommending to you specifically. This is a head turner for all your younger ladies, all the ones 31 and under. That's who I was getting compliments from. The 30s and under, I was walking through the crowd, moving the way I move, and they were like, "What you got on? What's that?" Dolce & Gabbana the One. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my video for you guys today. I hope you got something, as always, entertaining and educational from this particular video. Today I gave you a first in the series of what I'm going to try to put out, because I hate putting out 30-minute long videos nowadays. I want to put out something really concise, under 20 minutes, to give you guys something to just entertain yourselves with. And so I'm going to break this up into 3 parts and kind of see where we go from there with it. But these are fragrances in my collection in 2024 that have given me a great amount of compliments, more than 1 or 2. That's why I presented it to you guys, because even in my wearing experience, I think that you, if you wear one of these fragrances, will get a compliment, however it is that you move or wear your fragrances. So all in all, these are my compliment magnet fragrances that I've really paid attention to, writing notes on and being perceptive of what I was hearing back in the feedback realm when I wore these out into public. So as I stated, these are great fragrances for anyone to wear and try to get compliments with and bring a certain aura about yourself that is attractive and alluring. So I hope you got something educational, something entertaining from this. And if you did, all I ask that you do is hit the like button, subscribe if you have not. And if you got friends in the friend circle that love these particular wine, cigar, and scent videos, just send it on to them and let me see if I get another subscriber out of them. Appreciate you. Until next time, until next video, peace.